Welcome back, and today is Saturday, time check 12th of November. Today I'll be covering a really big story. First of all, my apologies for missing yesterday's live stream because I was attending a pretty important dinner appointment, and the dinner kind of stretched through the scheduled time because the topic that we discussed was really the heart of what I'm going to share with you today, and that is the mega explosive blow up of FTX.com and FTX.US, and what is exactly happening behind the scene. So, welcome back, and I want to thank those of you who are joining me live chat. Uh, you guys going to benefit a lot from this sharing because right now, as you know, in the crypto space, things move not by not by the year, by the quarter, by the month, by the week, not even by the day, it's by the hours. It's so fast, things that unraveled, and so many people got caught off guard. And that's very unfortunate because when you are dealing with seriously a top-notch crook, and when the heart of the matter is fraud, then it's every eyes looking at this issue, but how the heck everyone kind of involved, from investors to customers to internal team, every single one got blindsided. That means certain words were used to describe the founder of FTX.com, none other than Sam Bankman-Fried, and he really fried everybody around him. Fried is the word for him. So three things I want to share today. First of all, from my meeting with someone from Bahamas yesterday, I get to understand the number one most important topic is why did Binance walk away from the deal to acquire FTX.com? Why did Binance walk away? And I have my own thoughts about this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody kind of have different perspective because media is at play. Media is at play here. I mean, for media, they will paint the story according to what the people that they interview want them to hear. So we get different nuances from the media. We also got, the people involved having the money to kind of get the media to say what they want the public to read. So this is the challenging part, right? And my view is this: because I'm a Singaporean, I will put on the cap of the citizen of this country called Singapore to analyze this problem. I'm not putting any other cap, but I just look really from a neutral perspective as a Singaporean. And I want to tell the story in such a way every one of you can remember. You make your own judgment. You go and connect your dots. You perform your own verification. And then you tell me whether did this revelation hit you or not, right? So I want to really address it in a way that everybody got a fair chance to look at this with open eyes. And, quite a number of my friends also talk really vigorously on Facebook, and everybody trying to say something which they do not dare to say, but it's so obvious to everybody, right? Now, what do I mean by that? So let me don't put a bit about the bush. I want to address the first point. Why did Binance walk away? And we have to go to the very origin of the story, and that is this. I really painstakingly trying to piece together the timeline, because when we track the chain of events on the timeline, it'll be so evidently clear to everybody where is the blind spot, where's the trigger, where's the catalyst, where's the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because it will be sequential. And if you don't plot it out on a timeline, you cannot get it right. Timeline number one. In October 2021, it was announced really publicly across all major media, not just the mainstream media here in Singapore, but it's an international media coverage, that Singapore's sovereign wealth fund Temasek took part in the latest fundraising of FTX. That is mega because a sovereign wealth fund is taking the lead as the lead investor. And the meaning of lead investor means behind sovereign wealth fund Temasek, there are many other big investors, but with a smaller ticket size. That means if Temasek put in 200 million, the next guy 180 million, the next guy 150 million, the next guy 100 million, and so on. So we always kind of point our focus on the lead investor. They expect the lead investor to carry out the most massive due diligence or the most rigorous due diligence to just kind of everybody checking on everybody, right? October it was announced, 2021, step one. Then we go on to step two. In December 2021, it was publicly announced that Binance has to pull out of Singapore. How coincidental? In a span of 2 months, between October to December, and Binance at that point in time was the number one largest crypto exchange on planet Earth, and it still is. And they made the announcement they have to pull out, and they give all their customers sufficient lead time that by 13th of February 2022, all Singaporeans, you have to move your coin out of Binance. You will not be able to withdraw, deposit, or trade on the Binance app, and they impose an IP lockdown on all IP addresses coming out of Singapore. You can't really access Binance.sg and so on. So we got 3 timelines right here. October 2021, announcement of Sovereign Wealth Fund Temasek investing to the latest round of FTX fundraising at a super high valuation, right? I believe it was like 32 billion or something. But that doesn't matter anymore today. We'll come to that. Point number 2, in December 2021, Binance published across all media they are pulling out of Singapore. Point number 3, 13th of February was the last day that any Singaporeans could have access to Binance.sg or to Binance International. 3 important deadlines. Now, if you look at October, November, December, that's like 2 months apart. December to February, January, February, that's another 2 months apart. Anyone reading media or on social media or on WhatsApp or on whatever app that you are on, you will be brainwashed by the media bombarding you with these 3 sequences of events. The outcome, many Singaporeans migrated their coins to FTX.com. And the irony of it all, Binance generally wants to apply for license in Singapore, to get rejected, they move out, and they impose a ban, a lockdown on Binance. How the heck FTX, who didn't apply, you could open up your account with them? There's no blacklist, there's no investor alert. And again, go through October, November, December, January, February. In that 5-month span, you'll be bombarded with sovereign wealth fund taking the lead in FTX, Binance closing down, got banned in Singapore, and finally, step 3, what do you expect ordinary men to do? They will move their money into FTX.com. That's exactly what happened. Nobody dared to say it right out. I'm going to pen it out for you in a timeline sequence. You see for yourself objectively. You cross-verify all the media outlets and go and verify the timeline yourself. This is point number 1 I want to raise. I'm still not done on my point number 1, which brings me to the description of point number 1. I believe that when you jilt your lover, whether the boy jilted the girl, or the girl jilted the boy, the guy who's jilted will have a heart of revenge. And I want to describe it this way. Everybody was pursuing Singapore. Singapore is like the gold stamp in the crypto space back then, everybody say, wow, good reputation, transparent, potential crypto hub. Everybody vying for Singapore's license to launch their business in crypto. And if you go to, all the major ICOs in the world, many of them, in fact, Singapore is ranked number one. Majority of the ICO projects set up their companies based out of Singapore, but they are working from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Siberia, or whatever countries out there. They are physically not here, but they open up an entity in Singapore to say that this is a Singapore-based company, to write on our reputation. So this is the Singapore is that so-called that most beautiful girl out there that everybody is trying to chase, everybody trying to win her heart. And of course, the girl cannot keep playing hard to get, Finally, the girl has to kind of select the man in the white horse. And this girl decided to select FTX. And when you take a position to select FTX, what happens next in 2 months' time? The guy who wholeheartedly want to pursue this girl is Binance. He got jilted. And not only was he jilted, he got banned. He can't even come within the perimeter, the territory of where the girl is living. Can you see how bad it is? And not only he got banned, all of his customers can have nothing to do with him within the girl's territory. That's called Singapore. So you are the boy called Binance, you got jilted. How would you feel? I think his response is, one day. 2 words. Don't have to be too complicated. So he said that one day, and the one day finally came, which led me to point number one, this jilted lover, which point number one, I have to bring in point number two, the spotlight thrown on FTX right now, point number two. And that is FTX, FTX is one of the guys who chase after the beautiful girl called Singapore, and he wants the girl's heart. And the girl even presented to FTX her dowry, invested in the FTX. But right now, of all entities in the world, this boy called FTX decided to go to the jilted lover of Singapore called Binance to ask for help. What do you think Binance would think? What do you think Binance would be thinking if your competitor, the one that you lost out to, come to you for help? You say, of course I'll help you. Because the real, I will use the word revenge, is a strong word, but I think it's an appropriate word. Because how things that have been played out, right now we can reverse engineer, and there's a justification for it. Number one, he said, Binance came out and said, we are right now into a non-binding agreement. We are looking to FTX. We are looking to acquire 100% of FTX International. Right? You guys read the piece of news, right? But my question to all of us is, this news that so-called painted Binance, the boy, the knight in shiny armor coming to the rescue to his competitor, FTX, what happened before this news was published? What happened? Look at the logic and the sequence of activities. 1 week before that, I think it's a few days before that, he told the world Binance would dump all of their coins that they are holding on FTX, called FTT token. They took the lead to inform everybody, I'm going to dump your coin. That triggered the bank run. So that is really the step one led by Binance. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, he created the step one. Remember, we go back to point one just now. A jilt lover has a heart of revenge. He could have done it many ways. He could have quietly dumped in the market without telling everybody. Why do you need to broadcast to the market? Like, for example, if we want to dump shares of a particular public company, we do it quietly through our prime brokers. We don't have to broadcast. You broadcast, you have a different agenda. You can slowly sell your coin in the marketplace, right? Like few thousand coins per second. Nobody can detect. At most, you have volatility, volume moving up and down. You don't have to broadcast. My question to all of us we have to ask is, why the heck you need to broadcast? Unless you're on a path of revenge. They did that. They broadcasted. Everybody start to bank run, withdraw their coins from FTX. And this is very unique to the crypto community. Mainstream media couldn't catch up with it, right? So a lot of people, they do not know unless you're deep into the community, you know what the heck is going on. Or else you wouldn't know. So one by one start to withdraw. And that is where FTX called for help. So go back. Step one, who triggered the selling? Binance. My question, you can sell publicly or you can sell privately, but you broadcast to rally everybody to dump with you. That is questionable. Number two, the moment everybody start to withdraw, FTX come to you for help, and you paint yourself like a bloody white knight and say, I'm going to help you, I'm going to buy you 100%, but truly what you really want to do is to see the amount of shit inside. Whether the shit is bigger than your shit, whether FTX hole is bigger than your Binance hole. Everybody is playing a bluff game right now. All right? He said he's going to buy. Now I come to step 3, or I can't confuse myself. Now I'm on step 3. Few days later, he told the world, I'm walking away from the deal. Now again, there are many deals out there. The last 22 years I've seen on Wall Street, you can walk away from the deal without giving a reason. Say, no, we walk away from the deal. We reserve our comments. It's very common. But he walked away from the deal to push the final knife, the dagger, into the heart of FTX. He plunged it in. He not only plunged it in, he twisted the knife like a ranger. There's a few ways to kill a man. I was taught by a Singapore ranger that you can take a knife. I mean, I got a stick, not a knife. You poke, you kind of push the knife into the man's body, right? That's the ordinary man style of killing another person. But the special forces style or the ranger style, after you plunge the knife in, you twist it, and all your stomach and whatever the liver, all will come out. Step 3, that's exactly what Binance did. They told everybody, again, they're walking away from the deal, but they told everybody there's a big problem in FTX. You don't have to do that. You really don't have to do that. You want your competitor to die, but you want him to die really ugly. And that's exactly what Binance did. You don't have to mention that. All the bullshit about transparency, I don't believe. You guys go and question this. I don't care. I think that is very bad. And as a result, with that announcement, that goes the complete collapse of FTX. So point number 1, I talk about the jilted lever, tracing the events of October, December 2021, leading to 13th of February 2022. That's point 1. Point 2, my focus is how Binance handled this relationship with FTX. That not only did he push a knife into the heart of FTX, after pushing the knife through the body, he twisted the knife. He wants everything to spill out. He wants him dead 100%. You think about it, the logic of this sequence. You want to sell, you can sell quietly. You want to walk away from the deal, you can walk away quietly. But you do it so publicly, you wanted this guy to die very much. Okay? Which leads me to point number 3. Who is Binance trying to hurt? My question is, who is Binance trying to hurt? Let me tell you the answer. Because I'm putting on the cap of a Singaporean today, the real person that Binance wants to hurt is the girl he couldn't win the heart over. And that's Singapore for you. Singapore is hurt real bad. Right? And how to hurt Singapore? Make sure all your investments into FTX goes to zero. And that's exactly what happened now. Our sovereign wealth fund put hundreds of millions of dollars into FTX. Today, they have to write off to zero. It's worthless. Not only that, number 2, sovereign wealth fund has to take a reputational hit among Singaporeans. The fund is basically funded by Singaporeans from taxpayers' money. That's my understanding, if I'm not wrong. And so many Singaporeans, because of the 13th of February deadline, they migrated over to FTX. Now they are hurt. The people are hurt. So you want to hurt the girl that scorned you, that rejected you, that jilted you. Yes, you've done your job. Good job, Binance. You've done a damn good job. Sovereign wealth fund is hurt financially. Her people got hurt financially too. Which will lead me to my final conclusion. Now all the guns in the world are pointing at you, Binance, now. You're not going to get away. I believe that you'll be the crypto exchange of the world that will never be regulated. You want to play this kind of you want to play this kind of game, it is time will come. Your time will come. And you hurt us as a country, and our people got hurt. And I want to describe it as it is, and all of you who are watching, please go and share. Nobody dared to talk it this way, but I think I got my epiphany moment. Who he is trying to really hurt is our country, not FTX. He want to make sure FTX goes to zero so that Temasek has to write off about more than 200 million into FTX. And Temasek has to take a reputational hit. That's the revenge of a jilted lover. So I want to call this video the Jilt Lover and connect for you the dots. And because many of my friends are still like, Clemen, what happened? Like, they don't even know how to express their feelings. What happened? I mean, so fast. And if you are flying from New York to Singapore on a 19 hours flight, you don't even have a chance to take action. You're up there. All right. So some people are totally caught off guard. But life, it is like this. I try to encourage my students, especially those who couldn't react fast enough to withdraw, they got caught. Life is like that. But we have to tell the story as it is. This is a story of Binance being jilted by Singapore and out for revenge. And we're not going to let it go. You can't do it this way. It's wrong. And, but people of Singapore are strong. They'll rise up. They'll move past this issue. But Binance, everyone is pointing at you right now. And you could be behaving exactly like Sam Bankman-Fried, telling everybody it's okay, try to put up all the show. But there's a reason why you don't have a permanent office. We understand that. And I take this inspiration of the story from the meeting I had last night, that I have the privilege to meet a private banker from Bahamas. And of course, I'm just really focused to understand from someone on the ground what the heck is happening. And that was whispered. That was whispered that if Binance were to buy FTX, he's opening up his own door for all the regulators to go after him. He got a bigger problem to solve. And that is the thesis of my story, the jilted lover of Singapore called Binance. So watch out. Next target is you. This story is not over yet. It is never going to be over. And I want to encourage those of you who got hurt by this unfolding of FTX. I've been thoughtful about it, and I say, what can I do to encourage you? And it's not going to be easy for, I have friends who lost few millions from low range to high range. And of course, many of you lost your life savings. Some could be like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. Depends on your amount, right? So how do I encourage you as your teacher? I found a video which, for anything that has happened, for any crisis that took place, we must always strive to see positivity out of it. And that's why I want to do this video tonight, to encourage you. And the positivity comes out of this. Today, you could have lost your life savings of 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 or 1 million or 10 million or 100 million or by the billion. Everybody range is different, all right? So first of all, don't go out and compare, that guy lost 10 million, I lost 10,000, and I lost 100,000, that guy lost 1 million. Don't have to compare this way. The number is unique to you. But what is important is this. This number that you lost, right? Your number could be 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. All right? This number that you lost, you're losing it today because it's preparing you for bigger things to come. I've been playing in the stock market whereby, I have many friends who went public with their companies. I also sit in the board of public companies. For every 5 cents, 10 cents movement, for every $1, $2 movement up or down, their wealth is fluctuating between 10 million up or 10 million down, 100 million up or 100 million down. In the case of Amazon, this year they lost 1 trillion. Right? So why I bring out about the stock market, about public companies? Because the loss that you have suffered today because of FTX, and you're trying to find a way to express your feelings, you're trying to find a way, first of all, please don't blame yourself. This is like life. Sometimes life happens. Somebody got hit with an accident, your loved one passed away. Somebody fell sick, your loved one passed away. Just think of it as a life event. But think of it as something bigger to come for you, whereby the 10,000 that you lost today, in the future, your every day is like 10,000 up, 10,000 down. It is normal. The $1 million that you lost today in a one-time event, in your future, your everyday up and down is by the millions. Today, 5 million up, tomorrow 2 million down, next day 10 million up, 1 million down. The $10 million that you lost today is preparing you for the bigger things to come in future. You're going to have variation of 20 million up, 40 million up, 50 million up, 10 million down. You go up and down. It's to make sure you are accustomed to this feeling. So you must think like this. And I want to bless you finally with the story of 1,000x. 1,000 times return. This is a story told in the Bible about 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So one day Jesus was, in town, and everybody got really excited, wanted to hear the story and tap into his wisdom. He's very, very wise at his age, 30 plus. Very, very popular because he spoke the truth. So as he spoke through the night, the crowd swelled up to 5,000 people. And everyone started to get really, really hungry and say, oh no. Especially the disciples of Jesus were going around, Teacher, how do we find food to feed 5,000 people? The nearest 7-Eleven or the nearest NTUC or the Sheng Siong is like few kilometers away. Even if they are around, we don't have money to buy so much food to feed them. And out came a little boy, presented to Jesus, and he said, Teacher, I have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. I present to you. And Jesus prayed over it. He said, come, let's distribute these 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes and start to pray and give thanks and start to tear up the bread. And they start passing along the food. And everybody just very busy. Remember, life is very busy. Just like you were very busy, you've forgotten about FTX. In future, you're going to be very busy making money. They are very busy distributing the bread and the fish. And guess what? They not only fed the 5,000 people with the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. At the end of everyone feeling so happy and satisfied, they have gotten a good meal. They picked together all the scraps. They collected 12 baskets of leftover of the food. 5 loaves to feed 5,000. That is a 1,000x. 1,000x, my friends. And with that, we'll end off by playing you this really, really beautiful video that kind of I want to encourage you to sing along. I want to get my karaoke system ready. You can sing along and you realize that why I'm sharing with you this video is to encourage you. Don't feel bad. Don't blame yourself, because really there's a jilt lover out there of Singapore that wants to take his revenge. Let God take your revenge. Don't have to do anything. All right? So let's switch over right now, and maybe I should get involved in the video as well. And if you can, you can sing along. It's a really, really beautiful song, so here we go. And let's sing along together.
Little boy of 13 was on his way to school. He heard a crowd of people laughing and he went to take a look. Thousands were listening to the stories of one man. He spoke with such wisdom, even the kids could understand. Hours passed so quickly, the day turned into night. Everyone was hungry, but there was no food in sight. The boy looked in his lunchbox at the little that he had. He wasn't sure what good it do. There were thousands to be fed, but he saw the twinkling eyes of Jesus, the kindness in his smile, and the boy cried out with the trust of a child. He said, take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears, my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all to feed them all. I often think about that boy when I'm feeling small, and I worry that the work I do means nothing at all. And every single tear I cry is a diamond in his hands. Every door that slams in my face, I will offer up in prayer. So I'll give you every breath that I have. Oh Lord, you can work miracles. All you need is my amen. So take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears, my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all. Hope it's not too small. I trust in you. I trust in you. So take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears, my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all. No gift is too small.
I hope that song will encourage you. I will put the link of this YouTube in my YouTube description, and you can play it many times to kind of encourage your spirit, knowing for a fact that what you've gone through today is to prepare you for bigger things to come. And the measurement, from 5 loaves to feed 5,000, that's like 1,000x. You must keep that in mind. Every crisis that you go through is to prepare you for bigger things to come. And, once you stretch a rubber band, it cannot go back to its original shape. You are being stretched right now. See it that way in a positive light. Don't be too hard on yourself. And, I know some of my friends are watching this. They got hurt very badly. And some of you, I've not known you. Many of you are my students. You can go out there and share this clip. But just remember, please encourage your spirit. And I want to say all the positive words and not the don'ts. Do all the right thing. Do it with a smile. Not easy, but you can manage this. You have every capacity to handle this issue. All right? In the next few days to next few weeks, there will be more things that will be unfolding from this FTX saga. You just watch. But finally, the gun will point at Binance. And I rest my case. I put forward to you the dots. Go and connect it, and you understand why. Thank you for watching tonight, and I hope to continue again tomorrow. I think this is a treacherous period. I want to keep coming on stream live once a day, every day, 7 days a week. I want to do this, and I think it's right to do this. Thank you very much, and please share your comments at the YouTube. Let us know how you feel about this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless. Goodbye, everybody.